Marcus, JJ said that first things first, you have to believe that you can win a game in the NBA, even if you're shorthanded, and that was the mentality that you guys tried to come with. Did you feel like that was part of your role to lead that belief onto the court to start the game tonight?
Yeah, I was trying. Tonight wasn't individually a good night for me, but that's fine. It was opportunities for other guys, and my guy Rui, my guy Da, Bronny, and especially Nick Smith Jr. He came in and they just changed the game, and that's the beauty about basketball. Any given night, somebody can be the hero of the night, and we needed that. So I just tried to come in and just be as stable as I can and give my teammates some hope.
You're the number 6 pick, and obviously you've had a secure spot for a long time in the NBA. But do you think about Nick in that kind of a role? He's on a 2-way contract. Is there a part of you that kind of feels that and watches it as it's happening?
Yeah, definitely, man. Nick works his ass off each and every day, and he's a special talent with an ability that not a lot of people have. And, it was just good to finally see him able to go out there and show that ability. And like I said, we needed it tonight. So I'm happy for him. We all are, and much well deserved. So, I'm happy for him. I'm giving him flowers today for sure.
What did it take to hold off the way that Portland plays, the ball pressure, a second night of a back-to-back, 3 a.m., they didn't play, all that stuff, all of that stuff?
Yeah, it was a lot. I mean, especially against that team, they play really hard. You got to give those guys credit. They got some really good defenders over there, really guys who are really good IQ-wise, Jake. And but it was tough, But that's the part of what JJ's talking about. You have to believe, And we came in tonight believing. We knew it wasn't going to be easy, and it wasn't.
In games like this, when you guys are shorthanded, what do you learn about this team?
You learn about the heart of the team. We could have easily came in here and quit, and allowed what happened to us last time when we played this team, and we decided we didn't want to do that. So this team showed a lot of heart and that resilience that I've been talking about, that is starting to grow and grow even more. So we're going to try to keep going at it.
When you asked about playing hard, I think you gave the team a B+ at the time. How would you grade that for the team now, and what went into you guys? Because it seems like it's just ingrained in your DNA now. Like, what went into that being what it is now?
Probably B++ now. We're getting up there, but just the mentality. I'm sure JJ has talked about it, but with you guys, but just the championship habits, Banshee mentality. Doing whatever it takes. And that's nights like this where you get in 3 in the morning, probably didn't sleep well, had to get up on a back-to-back and play a team like Portland. It's that mentality you got to have. So that's kind of what it is. We're trying to lean more into it, and we're trying to get everybody on board, and we've been doing a good job with that.
Talked about how the team has to have a certain belief level even when guys are out. Was that something verbally shared to you guys before the game, during the game, and how did you feel like you were able to start the game like that, thinking you were going to win even though you had guys out?
Yeah, he said that before the game. He said no matter what, who's playing or not, his belief in this team is very high. He told us that. Everybody's practiced together. We had a good training camp. So. We had guys that out, during the preseason and even this season started. So everybody was ready today, start with the Nick, of course, but Bronny, everybody, they made all the good plays. So, yeah, it was a great win.
For you, it was kind of a typical, all 3 levels, right? The threes, the mid-range, got to the hoop a couple times. What were you doing with how aggressive Portland is defensively? How were you kind of picking and choosing where to get to your spots?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I do, I just trying to be aggressive more, especially look out, Braun out, Ayers out, so, somebody got to score, So me, of course, DA too today. We're trying to be more aggressive, and the defense is really good. So we're trying to beat the pressure, and we did a good job on that.
You mentioned a couple of your teammates, but what was it like watching Nick Smith Jr. and have that moment, and especially the threes late?
It was funny, I think when he made a run, it was the first quarter, second quarter, he scored like 2 threes or something.
2 threes and a layup in a row in the third quarter, I think.
Back on the timeouts, and I was like, hey, keep going. And he's like, my stomach hurt. And he left. And I was like, I told coaches, hey, Nick just left. You got to put somebody on. But I knew that he was going to have a good game. And, since then, he's just, from there, like, he was just going crazy. So, yeah, I'm so happy for him, Even the training camp, he was the second unit and always, one of the best guys, score the ball. So yeah, it was a good performance by him.
The term shorthanded can be a misnomer. I mean, you guys went 2-1 in the 3 games. Luka was out. You guys won a game where Luka, LeBron, and Austin are out. What does it say about the character of the team that you guys are able to step up? Your star players aren't on the floor.
I think it's a team chemistry, especially, I just said, we had a great training camp. And our core is playing hard, We don't want to, those are never going to change, whoever we play or not, and especially Brown, Luka, Ayers, we have to play harder. That's how we're going to win the game. So it's a good practice, for us. Those guys that never had a chance or had a little bit of chance, and tonight, game like tonight, they step up and then we win those games. So yeah, it's very important for us. It's good for the team, our chemistry and all that. So we got to keep rolling.
Told us and JJ let us know that you weren't feeling well coming into tonight. You threw up at halftime. Just what were you dealing with coming into tonight's game?
I'm fine. A little mix up, but I'm good. Yeah.
Just how would you describe this night for you? I mean, you're on a 2-way, joined the team right before training camp starts. Just what does this night mean to you?
It means a lot, man. I'm blessed to be in this position. I got a good group around me, good coaching staff. Each and every day I'm learning.
My bad, that's me too.
But no, my boy Smarty, but just having guys like him around and Coach JJ and guys that, been there before and won at a high level, I'm definitely learning a lot, so, I'm glad to be here.
Nick, JJ was talking about how, in some ways, this game started to play into your hands, where the way Portland plays, how aggressive they are in the perimeter, it ends up being about who can kind of get their guy off the dribble, which is obviously one of your main skill sets. Is that what you were looking for to get to your spots, to get your shots off?
Well, I know the first time we played them, they came out, very aggressive on the defensive end, transition buckets, that's what they want to get to. And, I understood that, so just watching the film, just looking at what they're going to give me for the night, and I just had to go out there and execute it.
And if they're largely in a drop for most of the game, do you know that there's going to be that spot in the middle, and then obviously you have the pull-up threes as well, but is that what you're looking for, exploiting?
Especially if they're in that drop, for 48 minutes, you got a step-up three, you got other guys you can penetrate and get open. So it was definitely one of those nights.
Nick, what was the energy like in the timeouts after and from the bench after you kind of got going, and what was it like in here after the game?
It was a number of positive energy, man, and my teammates wanted me to keep going, and I just kept going.
What was going through? I know what was going through your stomach at halftime, but after the game, what was going through your head? And it seemed like the adrenaline was pumping pretty hard as you walked off the court.
Yeah, I'm fine now. I got it out. Yeah.
What about did it hit you kind of obviously what the last 6 months have been like we in Charlotte and that unsettled situation and finding a new home here? Did any of that kind of set in?
When I first walked in the media day, it was kind of like wow, it was like 200 people in there, just not really knowing anybody. The teammates didn't really know who I was. I knew them obviously, but for me to have this moment now and for everybody to come together and have a big win like this is definitely special for me. And I appreciate it.
Any specific? Yeah, I assume you got the water bath or something like that when you came in, but just what was the reaction like? And
my teammates want me to go out there and beat me. They seen what I could do in training camp, and the coaching staff is definitely putting emphasis to just go out there and play my game. If they pressure you, go make a play, and that's something that I haven't gotten in a long time. So, there's definitely something to get adjusted to. Obviously I'm gonna make some mistakes, turnovers, stuff like that. But it's all learning. I'm still young, and I still got a lot more to go in this league.
JJ, I suppose you have to be proud, kind of an effort like that, down so many guys. Where does it start for you? What stands out the most?
I would just say our mentality. You can't win in the NBA without stepping on the floor and expecting to win. And I thought our guys had that from the start. And then that just confidence, belief, and truly connectivity in that second half was just awesome to watch. It was like it was just blossoming, and I thought Da and Rui offensively for us were great all night, but Nick Smith in the second half he just took the game over, and we needed his handle and we needed his wiggle tonight, and truthfully it was a perfect game for him. That you play against that team, they're so disruptive. Drew kind of makes up his own rules. They play their small lineup where they switch everything, and so you play a game like that. It turns into, can I beat my man off the dribble? And I thought once our guys stopped trying to just run pick and roll early in the game and just said, no, I'm just going to beat my guy, create the advantage, and then we're going to play from there. And we did that a number of times in the second half.
With Nick Smith, he's on a two-way, and kind of to come through in moments like that, is there any extra that you're kind of also enjoying and watching in Rudy for him, or not you're locked into the game, but just the way his teammates are embracing him and kind of the
that's what I mean by the connectivity. We got a good group. I'm excited about this group and what we could potentially be. I'm excited about the group, and his teammates loved it. The bench was awesome tonight. Our huddles were awesome. Just again, expecting that we're going to win. I thought our guys had that all night.
There was, after opening night, there was like a lot of discussion about like we've got to figure out how we're going to play hard the way that we did last year. That was like a part of our DNA. Like it's going to take time. Here you are, like 7 games later, and it feels like pretty much like in your team's bloodstream already. Like, how did it happen so quickly?
I would say I've told the team this a number of times throughout the preseason and early in this season that the best teams are always going to be player-led. And so those guys holding each other to that, that's why I say like those huddles, the communication on the court, all those small interactions, they're really valuable. And the guys are holding each other accountable to that. And then as a coaching staff, you have to get buy-in to that, and our guys are bought in. I think we talk about it as a group all the time. Like you can't win in this league unless you play hard. It's impossible now. And these guys have just been awesome for the last 7 games.
There's a certain amount of offensive sacrifice that just comes into like having to play in this league, and like the good shots are threes and layups traditionally, but like you've got guys on your team like Rui Hachimura is a really good mid-range shooter.
He doesn't miss from the mid-range.
DeAndre Ayton's a post-up player sometimes.
Yeah.
Like it felt like tonight, like all like the bad shots were good shots for your group. What was it like kind of watching that type of offense?
Yeah, again, you have to look at it's two things. You have to look at over the course of an 82-game season, what type of shots are you trying to generate? What is the most value? How do you get good shots? How do you create an advantage? And then on a night like tonight, how do we put the ball in the basket? How do we get a shot up? How do we run something that's in the semblance of organization? And the guys just for the last 3 quarters did that at a really high level.
You guys were in a very similar position exactly a week ago. What did you see the biggest difference defensively from your group from last Monday to today?
They got a lot of the same stuff. They 15 offensive rebounds and 26 second chance points. So I guess a little bit better. I thought overall, though, just outside of a few personnel things, Grant, getting to his left hand for an and one in the first half. Avdia is he's a bull, getting to his right hand. But we had some great shifts and some great on-ball stuff where we were really dialed into personnel. That's what we told the group before the game. Like, this is a personnel game. Similar to last night, it's a personnel game. This is not a how do I guard this action game. It's how do I guard my guy. And I thought our for the most part our attention to detail on that was really high.
DeAndre just said last week, when you guys played Sacramento, he was really inspired by what you said pregame when you guys were a little bit shorthanded, and to him, he felt like you guys weren't shorthanded at all. So how do you, whether it's you or maybe the other players, instill that belief that you guys are going to win no matter who you guys have?
Well, I mean, it's not an easy thing to do, and it's not something that you just can say and then a guy's going to believe. I mean, it's a really organic thing, and that's why I think the things that we've preached from day one are so important. We recognize we need to be in great shape, but the communication and the habit piece, when the group can do that at a really high level every single night, you can win games when you're without a few players. And maybe the idea that being shorthanded is maybe a little bit of a misnomer. It's just I told the guys before the game, like, we have enough in this locker room to win this game. My belief level in this group that's here in Portland right now, that's in uniform right now, is as high as it's been. Like, I've been around this enough to know when a group is connected, and you still got to go out and play, and you got to go out and play hard, and you got to go out and make shots, and our guys just did all of those things tonight.
Nick Smith got sick at halftime, like threw up in the tunnel, and I asked him in the walk-off, kind of, and he said, "Look, I was not missing this game today. The team really needed me." Does that color any more of just the moments he had down the stretch?
It's a good reminder to go wash my hands. Yeah, I mean, it's look, I can't relate to being on a two-way contract. There were times, in early in my career when, you're just called upon in a spot and you got to go perform, and it's really, I have such empathy for a guy who's put in a situation like that and kind of has to deliver for us to have a chance to win a game. And he was awesome. Just really, really gutsy, really tough mentally for him to come in and do that tonight, and battling whatever he was battling.
The development from Bronny, you talked about pregame. What sort of step did you see from him tonight?
Well, I loved that there was some aggression in the second half, and he missed a couple of those little paint touch shots, but the catch and shoot three was big. Had some big time defensive plays. Him and Nick coming off the bench ended up with, between them, 12 assists and 3 turnovers, playing, whatever. I'm terrible at math. 47 minutes tonight. That's awesome against that team. That's awesome.